Hello, this is a video on how to install PLR on Secure Network Analytics. Some notes before we proceed with the install. PLR stands for Permanent License Reservation. This is a license for air-gapped networks only. An active subscription is still required. Documentation is available but not public. Please reach out to your Cisco account team if you need access to the document. This process is for SNA 7.2 to 7.4. The process has changed for 7.5 and later due to restricted root access. I will also post a video on those versions as well. Older hardware not supported, such as Dell. One PLR SKU is needed per deployment. Please reach out to your Cisco account team if you need that SKU. Root access is required to the SMC via console or SSH. Make sure you have an SNA PLR SKU available in your smart account. So let's transition to the actual SMC. This is central management in the smart licensing tab. I'm unregistered in eval mode. Again, you get 90 days in eval mode. You want to install PLR as fast as possible because if you expire, you'll stop processing flow. So first step is to SSH into the SMC. So this is disabled by default sometimes, so you have to go into the actual appliance administration. Again, that's also available through central management and actually enable that, or you can just console into the box. If it's a VM, that's pretty easy. If it's physical, it might be a bit of a pain, and you can just temporarily enable SSH like I do. So let's log into via SSH. Remember, it's the sysadmin login rather than admin login. It'll save you some heartache if you think you're getting permission denied and you think your password's right. Alright, and this will log you in and then give you the sysconfig UI that you got when you initially installed Stopwatch. And there will be some waiting going on here when we process the codes for PLR, so I do apologize for the open air. I will try to fill it as best as I can. Or I'll just sing the Jeopardy theme. Just nobody wants that. Alright, so we are now at the system config UI. We're going to go down to advanced. The first option is root shell. That's exactly what we want. The root password is different from the sysadmin password. You set these passwords when you initially did the install. I set mine to the same just to remember them, but because it's root, you may want to set it to a harder password. So just know that these are two different passwords. Type in the password. I am now in root. The document will have the actual commands that you want to run. I actually just copied those commands down into Word for now, so I can just easily copy and paste. So we're going to change the directory to landcope/manifests, and then we're going to type in this docker compose command. You'll get these warnings. I get these every time. It's to be expected. Nothing to worry about there. At the end of it, you will get the smart licensing screen. Three, two, one, go. There we go. It'll give you basically two options: generate and exit. After you've generated a code and you've licensed with PLR, you will get an option to return the PLR. PLR is permanent. To not have to call up TAC and get it released, you should, if you're standing down the box or decommissioning the box, you should always go and return that code before you proceed so that you don't have to call TAC and release that PLR license. So obviously I'm going to generate. So I hit 1 and proceed. This can take a few seconds to get it's generating a code. This code will be available in a text file, or you can just copy and paste it. If you're on a true air-gapped network, it is a short code, as you'll see here when it gets generated, that you can actually write it down on a piece of paper and transfer it. But you do get the text file if you somehow want to get that off of your air-gapped network so that you can just copy and paste. Alright, so this is the code that you'll need. It's in red here, so it starts with CC and then to that. So it's not too long, not terribly long, that you can just copy down on a piece of paper. So I will copy that. I will go into software.cisco.com into my smart licensing. You can see that I do have Stealthwatch permanent license, I have one available, so I can actually go through and do license reservation. Click the license reservation, hit proceed, and then you're going to paste in that reservation code. Again, this is where you can, if you actually got the file off of the box and want to upload a file, you can do that as well. But it's short enough code that I don't think we need to do that. Process the code, it'll say, okay, this is for Stealthwatch PLR. That's really your only option. So just click that and hit next. Quantity to reserve, this is kind of review and confirm. And then you want to generate the authorization code. Here's your authorization code. It'll give you a button right here to copy. Again, you can download this as a file and then sneaker net it over to the air-gapped network. Again, I am connected to the internet, so I'm just going to copy the clipboard. I'm then go back to my SSH. I'm going to install the reservation. I'm going to enter the reservation code. Again, you can upload file if you want to. And then you're going to paste that code. And the key being is enter 2 blank lines after the code. Because if you just hit enter once, you'll sit here for a while. So 1, 2. Actually, it was a enter and then 2 blank lines. So I even confused myself on that. So hit enter and then 2 blank lines. You'll get this saying we are processing your reservation authorization code. This can take, minutes. It's not, hopefully it takes seconds for you, but it can take a minute or two. So this gives me plenty of time to reiterate that, again, a guide is available. It is not public because PLR is only for very select customers that are air-gapped, largely federal customers that I support. If you need that documentation, please reach out to your Cisco account team so that we can provide it for you. Again, this process is only for 7.2, that's 7.4. 7.5 and later, we restricted root access. So what we did with SSH and in the root, you will not be able to do in 7.5. We've basically transitioned it right to a menu item in that system config UI that you can do the PLR reservation. So it actually saves you a step and you don't have to change directories and things like that. So it's actually a better process in 7.5 and later. So if you're on the cusp of upgrading to 7.5 and you're thinking, do I put PLR before or after? You probably, if you have time, upgrade to 7.5 and then PLR. Do the PLR. It's a little bit easier. As you saw, we already had the PLR license already in the smart account. If you don't and you go through this, you can just easily cancel out the code and then go back to where you were in the eval mode. If for some reason you did not order the PLR SKU and you needed it, you're on an air-gapped network, again, please reach out to your Cisco account team so we can get that SKU into your smart account so that you can proceed with the PLR install. If you don't have anything available, that option will not be available when you put in that code and you'll kind of be stuck. You'll have to cancel out the process and go back anyway. So please make sure you're staged and ready to do PLR, or you're just wasting your time and you're going to have to redo it anyway. Okay, you can see that license reservation completed successfully. We now have continue or exit. So I'm just going to hit exit. And then we're going to go back. I'm going to close out this and then go back to Smart License in here. And you can see I'm registered with license reservation. Everything's green, gold. We're ready to go. To basically complete the steps to get rid of the return the code and uninstall PLR from your box, you're basically going to go into that same script that we just did with SSH. I'm not going to go through the complete process because I want to keep this license for now. But you'll go back in. The option will now be return and exit rather than install and exit. So here we go. And again, this should say return because it's installed now. And then it'll give you a code just like it gave you a code. It's this time it's instead of an install code, it's a return code, and you will put that into software.cisco.com to return it. So you can see return reservation exit. So that's how you would actually return it as well. And again, you want to return PLR before decommissioning a box so you can free up that license. If you do not, and you wipe out if you have a VM and you wipe out that VM before you do this, you will have to call Cisco TAC to get that license wiped out on the software.cisco.com side, as we will not know that you decommissioned your server. So please make sure you return it before you decommission any boxes. And as the video for today, again, I will post another video on how to do 7.5 and later PLR shortly after this. Thanks.